I don't think it's right that we have to do this. As far as I'm concerned, the members of the board did vote on a check for Donico Martin. It was passed unanimously by the board. If this board wants to change it, then I think you should do so and act on it and make it where an ex-official is not paid. But if you go to the state law, and I'm doing this to set a record because I have to say one, I couldn't speak on the last item because I was excused. The Public Act State Law 123.955B, Board of Commissioners Compensation Per Diem Mileage. 123.955B, Board of Commissioners Compensation Per Diem Mileage. Section 5B, members of the commission may be paid such compensation and such per diem and mileage for attending meetings as be provided by the commission with the approval of the incorporating unit or units. In the Articles of Incorporation, and with all due respect to this council, it was passed by council. So council acted on those Articles of Incorporation back in the 80s. Section 1, authority shall be directed and governed by the governing body consisting of 3 members known as the commission. The council of the city of Warren shall have the authority to appoint 1 representative to the building authority. The mayor shall have the authority to appoint 1 representative to the building authority. And the mayor and council shall have a combined authority to appoint a 3rd representative. No member of council shall be eligible for membership except in an ex-official capacity. Section 9, officers of authority and members of the commission shall receive compensation, if any, and such per diem mileage payments, if any, as may be fixed by the commission with the approval of council. And it was passed by council. City of Warren Building Authority, Bylaws, Rules and Procedure, Article 3, Section 3, compensation, vacancy, and removal. Officers of the authority, members of the commission, general counsel, and ex-official members of the Warren City Building Authority shall serve without salary but may be reimbursed for their actual expenses incurred in the performance of their official duties and may receive a per diem of not more than $50. Rules regarding vacancies and removal of the board are prescribed in Article 5 of the Articles of Incorporation. It is all touched on. We also supported the bylaws and the rules of procedure. So it's very clear and it is laid out. We had an attorney's opinion at the meeting, and that's why the board took the action that they did. Nancy Cooper Green, and just give me a moment. Commissioner Wire stated that it should be copies of something presented to the council of $200 was paid out today. So can they honor Mr. Bacamino's request? They just approved for a council ex-official to get paid and asked if that was okay to do so. He wants to make sure, because the words of things flying around, that it's not legal. Not only that, I had a resident contact me that said that there are certain council members up here that were saying that I was a crook. I think that is terrible. I do. I think that is very disrespectful, and someone up here knows who said that. And that is a defamation of my character. And I think that is terrible. So that should really be stopped, because that's not what this is all about. And I'm sad, but I am not going to take any of this laying down. This is wrong. And if we want to change it, then be a respectful body and change it. We all decided that we were going to be respectful to one another up here. We weren't going to be a disputing council like the others in the past. And I think we've all have respected each other very much. And I hope we can continue to do that. Even Mr. Bacamino, I attended your fundraiser, and you said you were happy that I stopped by. And you know what? I respected you because you said that you were going to have, that you cared about other members up here, and you didn't want to fight and argue. So I am just trying to represent what I heard with my own ears. It also said, Attorney Green stated that it does provide by the bylaws for that. Under Article 31, it does allow that members can be paid by the building authority. It authorizes members to be paid. Under the Articles of Incorporation, it states that in Section 9, officers of authority, members of the commission shall receive such compensation, if any, and such per diem and mileage payment, if any. It may be fixed by the commission with the approval of council. So under the bylaws, it says that the members who are paid their per diem checks, and that it is listed in Section 3 under Article 3 of the officers of authority, members of the commission, general counsel, and ex-official members. This was all on record. It is right in the minutes, and that is why those members voted the way they did. But they wanted to be sure, and they asked the questions properly. So I'm sorry, but I needed to state my piece and make sure the record is very clear.
Madam Chair?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Bacamino.
I want to thank the ex officio for stating that, because Mr. Stevens, you brought that to our attention, but I believe it's Ms. Comartin's job to do that. She's the ex officio, and I want to just confirm through that. First of all, I think Ms. Comartin definitely is one of the hardest working, honest council people I've ever met. I don't think that's up here ever been brought up, but as ex officio, are you saying that the 3 building authority board members have decided to pay themselves without council approval? I mean, have they given themselves checks already? I'm not sure I understand that. And you were there, but I don't think you were there, Mr. Stevens. So I'd like to hear from the ex officio. Did they pay themselves and yourself checks already?
They wrote the checks. This has come over to council. It is on your agenda today. Yes, Mr. Bacamino.
You're the chair of the ex officio. To your knowledge, do you know if any of those checks has been cashed without council approval at this point?
No.
They have been cashed or they haven't?
No, they have not, Mr. Bacamino. They are on the agenda today, along with the one that you tabled 2 weeks ago.
The checks have been issued to the 3 members as well as yourself. That's all. They've been issued, but they have not been cashed.
No.
Okay, that's all. I don't know. I wasn't there. The other thing I want to bring up is that this has been going on since the 80s, and back in November when this came before us with a new building authority, you can check the minutes. I voted no for the first payment, and I stated my reasons in the minutes because I felt that this again was happening the same as in the past. So that is in the record. One council member did speak up in November, voted no, and did state reasons why it's in the minutes. The reason, I think, Ms. Comartin, you're worth more than $50 a meeting. Receipts.
No.
You know what? I think her hard work over the years, I think you've been on the commission for 7 years now. And you're absolutely right. The meetings meet at 4 o'clock, so that is during the business hours. We've had many discussions about some meetings being held during the day, and maybe this should be held in the afternoon. I have no problem with you getting paid. Again, I think we've discussed in the parking lot and at my fundraiser and other parties and meetings that the charter law entitles you to even more if the receipts show that. The issue I had with it all along was that the Compensation Commission, the Election Compensation Commission, states that no council shall be paid more than what they determine. And now that it's become, through the moratorium, a vote of council, I was not ever in doubt that you deserve the $50 or even more, or the other members. So I'm glad they are paying themselves, but it is now coming through council. My concern was that now that we're voting to pay a council member, are we now breaking the Election Compensation Commission's rules that no council member shall be compensated more than so stated? That was my only concern. I have no problem with you receiving $50, $100 if the receipts show it, because then I don't have to vote on it. That was my original point of contention, is that I don't want to have to come back and say, now that we are voting on the checks, in the past we haven't, are we violating that? Are we allowing a council member per vote of council to be paid more than any other council? That's my only problem with it. If you have the receipts, I would be more comfortable with that because I don't have to vote on it. And the Compensation Commission, then no one can come and say that one member is paid more. That was my only vote of contention. It's not politicized. It is a check that comes before me now, and unfortunately, I have to vote yay or nay. There's no maybe. There's no like, gosh, I feel like I vote Donna should get $70 this week, or Ms. Comartin should get, Councilwoman Comartin did miss time on that. I wish we could, but we can't. So therefore, that's why I have been voting no. I feel uncomfortable voting compensating one of our members more than the other. The other thing is that I don't know how many times we meet a week, a month, or whatever. I'm guessing about twice a month, and I'm doing the math. That's 12 times a year, $100 a month. That's over $1,000 a year, and I think that obviously, yeah, missing that could be even more with receipts or less. Well, if you meet twice a month, I'm thinking that's $100 a month. Well, let me go to the ex officio then, to the chair. Do we meet more than once a month or not? I'm hearing comments.
No, just once a month.
Once a month. In the past, have we ever met for twice a month?
We may have with the law cases that were going on, yes.
And have there been certain occurrences where we've met for 3 times a month in the past as ex officio?
It's possible. I
Yes,
did
it
not
is. And
set
so
up-
I'm going with an average. There are some months that are 1, some are 3, some are 2. I'm guessing there's over $1,000 in bills paid every year. And that makes it not a political issue, but a point that I am not comfortable paying and compensating an elected official possibly over $1,000 a year. And that's the only contention I have with my vote. I think you earned that 1,000. You've earned more than that. But if it's receipts, as Mr. Stevens is saying, then so be it. We are now not able to vote on it. We don't have to vote on it. The Election Commission has been honored. No council member has been compensated more. And I think that's what the judge is going to determine with next week or next council's meeting, is that are we voting to compensate someone more? And if that is the case, then we must cease and desist that and allow you to submit receipts so that we are not violating that part of the law. That's the only reason I have. It has been brought up in the audience before that no council will do this at 4 o'clock. I will. I get out of work at 3:30. If anybody wants to yield that position, I'll take it, and I will forfeit the $50. I don't think it's necessary. If you need it, you need it. If you want it, you want it. Judge Biernet does not take it. I know Rob Malzek doesn't take it. I've been called out by people in the audience. My name's been mentioned many times here. I can make the meetings. If someone wants me to, I'm waiting. You did apply for that position. I voted for you to be in that position. I agreed to it. I just want to make it clear for the record, no one's attacking anyone. It is a considerable amount of money that we have to vote on. And I do think we are in violation. And I'm waiting eagerly for the judge's opinion so we can put this to rest. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Stevens, I misvote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe that Ms. Kumartin misunderstood what I said. And it's not because it's a political season. Over a year ago, residents of this city brought this issue before us. They addressed lots of things that had happened in the past that I now had no control of. I was a new member on council. But I did say that in the future, I would now keep an eye on it. And that's what I'm doing. And, well, it's obviously a lot more than $50. And there's other checks that are being written here, too. But I have no objection to Ms. Kumartin receiving the per diem. All I want to do is, because everything she cited, the law and the bylaws said may be paid, may be reimbursed. Didn't say,
Shall.
it said may be paid. Now, what I'm saying is provide the receipts, because that's what the ordinance calls for, and it's not an issue with me. It really isn't.